Alright, yo, what's up? Koala Bear Khan here. I haven't done a tier list video in so long, so we're gonna do one for MK1. Um, I should order this, not order this, but like name the tiers. So I'm gonna do like a few tiers actually. I'm gonna do Gatekeeper tier. I'm gonna do I would say high tiers, and then top tiers, mid tier, and that's it. I don't think I need anything else. Delete row. I think I only need four. I don't think I need a whole lot. So yeah, and I'm gonna be basing these off of the best cameos for each character. So like kind of like they're either if they have the best cameo with them or like their top three best cameos in terms of like their best teams or whatnot. So let's start off with I'm gonna put Liu Kang in like should I put him in Gatekeeper? Because like here's what I mean. So there's top tier. These are like the clear, very strong characters with the very strong cameos that synergize with them well. Then you have gatekeepers, and I mean gatekeeper by like if you can't beat a gatekeeper character with your character, then you're not getting to top tier. Then you have the high tiers. These are like the characters that are like very strong but lacking that sort of thing to put them in these tier. And then there's mid tier, which is basically like the same thing but like even worse. So for Liu Kang, it's kind of weird. I was gonna put him at gatekeeper, and I feel like maybe I should because he has a fundamental, strike throw with like back throw with Motaro, Chameleon, Kung Lao cameo to give him back throw combos. He's got the shimmy. Is it a shimmy? Well, not really to say shimmy, but the forward four staggers and whatnot. He's got plus frames. He can actually utilize his plus frames pretty well. He's got good combo damage. He's got anti zoning. He's got zoning. It's pretty hard to like beat him straight up. You kind of have to like really exert your mind and like outplay him. He's got flying kick, basically F neutral. He's never out of a fight. He has everything you need, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be any lower. Like, yeah, he may be boring or sauceless, but he's still a strong character. So I'd say he's kind of gatekeeping other characters from being top tier, but he's not top tier himself, mostly because of the fact that I think there are stronger characters that can. I wouldn't say stronger characters. I'll have to hold on that statement, and I'll probably change the order of this later. But like, you know what I mean by like having like that dirt. Like Liu Kang isn't really dirty. He has the back throw combos, but most characters do. So there's something really unique about him that makes him top tier, if that makes sense. Here we go, Kung Lao. They changed him a lot. I still think he's pretty high tier. If this was like pre-patch, one bar armored launcher Kung Lao, I would say Gatekeeper for sure. I think he's like high tier though. Like that back 3-4, back 3-3 mix up is still good. He does have to use cameos that reduce his health, like Bravado, Goro. But there are some other options. He can use Scorpion that doesn't take any health or whatnot. Um, what other cameos does he use? I've seen Kung Lao, Kung Lao. I've seen that a couple of times. Um, but yeah, Janet is another one too. Janet's really good for Kung Lao. He again, this is like this is the Ghostface patch I'm talking about. So Conan isn't released yet. I was gonna wait till Conan came out, but I'm not waiting until January 26th or whatever it is. That's like a long time away. So I want to say Kung Lao is like he would have been gatekeeper pre-patch, but I think right now he's just in a very middle state. He's pretty mid, and I know I would say he's like mid tier, but I think he has like some decent staggers, like his 2-1. Even though it's like a high, it's like +3. You have to guess between his down three, which is pretty good, or another pressure tool. But I'm not really afraid to face Kung Lao. It's more so about I have to like kind of bait him to use his armor and also just fuzzy block the back 3-4, back 3-3. He has some crazy damage in the corner. He has some. What the hell is that noise? Jesus Christ! Sorry for the snapping in the background. I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, I think he's pretty solid. I might put him in mid tier, but I think I'm just keep him high tier. Same thing with Raiden, honestly. Like, I know people are like, oh, downplaying his character. Man, you don't see any Raidens in anymore, man. He's kind of low tier. Like, just because you don't see a character too often doesn't mean they're low tier. Raiden's still strong. Like, he still has, that spacing game with like his 4-4-3-4. It goes underneath a whole lot of shit. He has good damage, good cameo synergy with like Kano, Striker. I've seen Tremor be used and like some other combinations and whatnot. Very strong character. Probably thing with like high tier. Like you have to like really play rating carefully. I wouldn't say you can beat the character rather than the player playing the character. It kind of just depends. His poke game is pretty good. He has the poke special stuff like down four into electric storm or whatever it is, a little down back three move. That's very good. So you have to be careful when you take your turn back. His pokes are really good, and like I said, he has the poke cancel stuff. So he has tools, decent projectile, teleport, armor's all right. Electric fly, and never shy from damage. Good cameo synergy. I will. Should I put him above Kung Lao? I think Kung Lao has to use more punishing cameos like Movado Goro, while Raiden doesn't have to per se. But if you want to play that game with like Tremor, Striker, Kano, they're basically the same. Honestly, there's not much to really say. Ooh, Garrus. Oh man. I think he's high tier as well. Like I wouldn't say he's like a gatekeeper. Like, so here's the thing with Garrus, right? He is like a knowledge check type of character. Like if you don't lab against this character, you're gonna feel like, oh my god, this guy's top tier. I can't do anything about that clone mix up. Like you gotta go in and lab it. You seem demoralized, and like my boy Brown Boy, shout out to Brown Boy. You see them play Garrus all the time. Very strong character, very, mix up heavy with the forward 1-2 grab string. Honestly, you don't even have to hold the mix there if you want a spin bar to like armor through that stuff to avoid the mix up. You can do that. Obviously, he has a staggered forward 1. It's -6, so he's not really in the best situation anyway. So it's a big risk for Garrus because his moves are kind of ass. His neutral sucks. He only has one poke, which is sweep. Everything else is bad. His mids are questionable. I mean, they're decent, I guess. 4-2, not the best like advancing high attack. 4-3 is a combo launcher with certain cameos, which is pretty good. And the same thing with like Garrus too. Like he can't use cameos that really upgrade his health because he is at 900 health, I believe, or like 950, whatever it is. So he has to use cameos to like hurt him, like Movado, like Motaro, which kind of sucks for Garrus, obviously, but it's well worth the risk if you can get those 2-bar clone setups. If they don't block it, you get like 40%, 30%, resets and all that stuff. Full screen snap, basically uncounterable, almost. But he has some cameos you can use to give you plus health. Like Sub Zero gives you 50, and I think I've seen some Garrus Tremor, but that's like a rare thing. So I'm gonna put him in high tier as well. The EX command grab thing, I don't know. You can jump that string he does anyway to forward 1-2. You can jump over him if you didn't know. Like all characters can just jump over him and just punish him if he goes for it. So and it's like an OS with his EX tick throw command grab. So I mean, I don't know. I think he has some big flaws which kind of make him bad, but I think he's pretty good still. It's like a set play thing. Like if you don't know how to beat him, you're gonna get beat. If you do know how to beat him, then you can beat him, which is like, dumb. I would say Garrus just has some bad matchups. Like, I think Omni Man and like Quan Chi in a way, they're still winnable, but they're like harder for him to get his tools. Like, if you have like a full screen punish that can launch him, if he goes for like countdown stuff, which is like his clock stuff, yeah, you can punish him all day most of the time. So, like I said, he has to use certain cameos to even get those setups, and if he doesn't, then he's playing a really big risk. So, yeah, I think high tier is good. Maybe on the lower end, I don't know. I'll have to wait until I put all the characters together. Okay, mid tier, Lee May. That's pretty easy for me to decide. She's not a bad character. I think she's pretty strong, especially with that 7-frame reversal move with Movado. But again, her problem is that she has no cameo synergy. She can only use Janet, Scorpion, and Movado, and that's not very good. Like, I know, like in way back when in like the stress test and beta, she could use Frost, which gave her like those lantern combos. Those aren't good enough anymore. Like, you can get those mid screen with Movado, Janet, and Scorpion, but she just needs more. She needs more sauce. She's like Liu Kang in a way, plus frame, staggers. She has a throw game, I guess, kind of with Janet. She's like Liu Kang, but like worse. Like, and I say worse because of the fact that it's more so about what she can use for cameos to enhance her gameplay, and her cameo options are not as good as Liu Kang's are. Like, he can use Farah, Mavad. Like, Liu Kang can use any cameo basically. He can use freaking Cyrax. Li Mei can't. There's nothing that can work with Li Mei. So, and it kind of hurts her a lot. Like, she can't really elevate her game plan because of cameos, and that's why the game is so like forced with cameos and whatnot. So she can't use cameos, and she's not that good. So here's a tricky one I got. That's all I gotta say about Li Mei, honestly. High damage, 50% every touch. Still keeps her in the mid tier. So, there's no bottom tier. I don't think there's any bottom tier. Here's a tough one for me. Where do I put Katana? I feel like she's like top tier, right? Like underrated top tier. But is she a gatekeeper though? Or is she a high tier? Maybe I should go back on Katana. I feel like I don't know enough about Katana. Like, here's the thing. I'm not really afraid to fight Katana unless I'm just not making right decisions. If I make good decisions, I feel like I can beat any Katana. But obviously, if I don't play well, if I'm in my own head, I feel like I'm going to get beat by this character. High tier. I mean, I could put her top tier. Let me talk about her moves. I'll put her at gatekeeper right now. She has decent projectiles. She has, dude, I swear, every Katana player does like a string, like the 2-4-1-2 string, and then they'll do like the EX down back 3 projectile, which like goes like an arc. And if you don't punish them or get her out the way, you get launched. That is so. It's not cheap, but it's like they do it every time, and it's like, damn, you know. Or like they'll wait. They are so lax with their armor. Like, they'll armor at the most predictable but unexpected times. It's like, I can't believe they armored, but they would armor because they were a Katana player. Her armor isn't that great. Also, her armor goes pretty far. I didn't even realize that. Like, I would be like half screen, like 2 character spaces away, and then that armor will hit me. I'm like, what? How did that hit me? So that's kind of funny. But she has decent damage. I feel like I've never seen her break over 400, which is kind of crazy, even with like some cameos. I mostly see Katana used with like Movado, Jax, sometimes Farah, sometimes Chameleon, I guess. She has decent cameo synergy. She's like overall really good. Corner pressure is pretty good. I think they got rid of her like her guaranteed throw combo with that little blue swirly thing on the ground. I don't know what it's called. Is she a gatekeeper? Like, is she stopping other characters from reaching top tier? Maybe. We'll put her at gatekeeper for right now, because I feel like she's got the tools. Like, I don't think any of her strings are like punishable. Like, straight up, you have to like outspace her. But she has that back 2-4. That's really good. She does have an armor gap. I forgot to talk about armor gap. Sorry. She does have an armor gap like on the after the first hit of every one of her strings. So you can like do that to like enforce your dominance. But if you let her do her stuff, then she's pretty strong. I don't know. I need more Katana experience. I don't really know enough about the character, so I'm just gonna put her in gatekeeper. Melina, high tier for sure. I'm gonna put her at the top of high tier. She is pretty much well-rounded character. Like I said about every character in this game, they're all well-rounded. They're all the same. Melina is really good. Fast ball roll, combo launcher, hard to block because anytime you're in neutral, you just have to be aware of it. Her projectile sucks, but so what? Well, I mean, it's pretty important you have a good projectile because neutral. Her neutral is kind of weird because she has like that great standing 1 into like her 1-2. The 3 hitting string that's like a 1-2 combo. It's weird because Melina players say that, oh, if you false block the third hit of 1-2, she can't do anything to like protect herself. But I've heard people say like you can just cancel into ball roll, and even if they false block the third hit, they can't punish you in time. You'll get like a trade at most. So I don't know which one's true. I gotta like go back and lab that or whatever. But I can never false block that. I swear, like I can never false. Oh, I can never false block forward 1-2. Not forward 1-2, just 1-2. Her mids kind of suck. She has to confirm the forward 1-4-4 into the ball roll. She can launch with like her down forward 2 uprising teleport, which is kind of cool, but she has that's kind of really it. You know, she can do ball roll, whatever. She can only use a certain amount of cameos too. She can only use like Scorpion, Sector, I guess Jax, and Janet. I've seen Janet a few times. I don't know. Mostly it's Scorpion. I feel like she doesn't really have much cameo synergy. I guess Chameleon could work too. She could use like back throws with the fan lift, but every character can do that. It feels like. Yeah, her projectile sucks. Her low one, you have to spend bar to even get them full screen, which, I mean, they are good. It eats up projectiles and it gives you a combo launch. She always hits about 42% at most for a bar, so she's never lacking in damage. She has extensions with the air ball roll thing. She has teleports. But her teleport's pretty reactable. Like you can just block it on reaction if you do something, as long as it's not too punishable. I wouldn't say she's like really threatening, but she's pretty like I wouldn't say like this is like the most not the most. This is the second most tame version of Melina in terms of like high octane, crazy, do wild stuff sort of gameplay. This is pretty like more tamed down. MK11's more tamed down. This is the second one, and I say MKX, MK9. So I mean her forward 4 cartwheel is pretty decent. It can break armor sometimes. But other than that, I don't know. I don't really fear this character. She has a plus on block sweep, which is pretty good, I guess. But like, who cares? I don't really. Melina players are interesting. I don't see them at all most of the time. But like, you know, you can't downplay this character. She's pretty sure. Tanya, holy crap! I don't know what to do about Tanya. Okay, people were saying, "Oh my God, she got changed. She's low tier." I mean, maybe I don't know. I thought she was like top tier before because she had the most boring ass playstyle that was pretty much hard to counter. Not even the pros wanted to play her. I guess I can put her in like mid tier. I'll listen to the masters on this one. I don't really know enough about this character, honestly. Like I know stuff, but I don't know everything in terms of like matchups. Ever since she got that change with like I guess like her armor or whatever, I guess she's not too dumbed down to like just do string, safe string, then armor reversal, teleport away with Mataro or whatever, or Farah. That's kind of gone in a way. She has to use those charges, which take longer to charge. So hard to say, low key. Hard to say like what she's really good at. Like she still has some range with like her stand 3 and her forward 2, but I feel like she doesn't really enforce a lot of her game plan on anymore. Like she can still do like the 4-2-1-1 Motaro low shot and stuff like that, but she can't do it as frequently, if that makes sense. So I think she's easier to play against, but she's still good, if that makes sense. Her damage is pretty lacking. I've never seen a Tanya break over 35%. I swear, maybe once, but like I've never seen a Tanya break over 35. So her damage kind of sucks. I don't even think she has a throw combo. I guess she can break armor with her back 3-4-4 or whatever, and her 4-2-1-1. That string too. Not much else to say. Does she have low health? I don't think she does. I think she's 1,000 health. Yeah, probably. I'm trying to do this quick so I can watch the football game coming up. Okay, Scorpion. This is my first top tier. Finally, we get to one. Yeah, Scorpion's pretty good, dude. Like people were saying, oh my God, he's low tier. He's low tier. I was kind of feeling that way at first, but I kind of knew after they gave him that. Okay, when they first gave him that 4-3-4 string, at first I was like, okay, that doesn't do much because one, it's not special cancelable, and two, there's a gap there to armor it, and it's unsafe. I think it was unsafe or whatever. So that string sucked. And then they buffed it to where they gave it no gap to armor through. It's -7, so it's basically safe mostly, and it's special cancelable. So now he has a 13 frame mid into a safe mid that's special cancelable into cameos or special moves and so on and so forth. So now it's no longer duck the 4-3-2. Now you have to actually like guess between 4-3-2, which is also safe, or 4-3-4, which is gapless. You can't armor it. That alone is broke. Because there's not really a whole lot of counterplay. Like you can't even punish it with like a standing jab, unless you're like Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Li Mei. His 2-1's pretty good. 2-1-4, I know it has a gap, but it's still good. 10 frame high, a lot of range. His 1-2 stagger is pretty decent with the up block overhead part at the end. He can stagger or whatever. His back three, do we have to say anything more about that back three? Double hitting, basically almost safe unless you punish it from really far away or whatever. Pharah, Scorpion, do I need to say anything more? High damage, throw combos, come on. OTG, unblockable fire setup that does dot damage. Come on, dude. Restand combos into +17 with 3-3 or 2-1. Dude, it's enough said. Yeah. Okay. Sub-Zero. I don't really know a lot about this character either, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I only know the surface level stuff. I think he's... The thing is that the changes they gave him in this Ghostface patch really amp him up. I don't know. I think he has some strong stuff. See, I don't. That's the thing. The stuff I don't know about this character is really weird because, they changed his ice clone stuff. You can combo into it, I guess, but sometimes it's only up with certain strings, with certain hitboxes. So that type of stuff I don't really know. I'm still trying to learn, so I can't say a lot knowledgeable about this character. Sorry. So I'm not gonna I'm just gonna put him in mid tier, top of mid tier, because I know he's strong. I know he has good damage. He has a lot of cameo synergy. He can use any cameo he wants. It doesn't really matter. He could use freaking Darius for that, for all that matters. Shout out to Blue Raz Rest, Darius main. But I'm not gonna say much about Sub-Zero. I don't really know how strong he is per se, but I know he's not bottom of the barrel. Reptile. Oh man, I hate this character. This character is busted. I'm gonna put him right where Melina is. I don't hate this character actually. I think he's really fun. My problem with Reptile players is that they're like what Havoc players are after he got buffed, if that makes sense. Havoc, Reptile players are he's so low tier, we can't enforce our mix-up, please give us something. Okay, they gave him the stand 3 cancel with the invisibility. They gave him the spitty projectile or whatever. They gave him I don't know what else they changed, but they gave, I think they made 4-2, yeah, the 4-2-4 and the 2-4, the little low tail swipe. They made that safe on block. It used to be punishable. It used to be -12 or 13. Now it's safe. It's -4 or 5. So that's safe. And they're still downplaying this character, and I hate to see that, because it's this character's strong, and you're oh my god, Reptile, man, I can't get Movado trade combos anymore because they nerfed Movado. Well, good, because that shit was broken. You hit Reptile, he hits you a force ball. I can still call Movado, get a trade combo. You know what I'm saying? You're telling me you want to keep that broke shit because it benefits you, but when it's any other character, it's oh man. I feel like Reptile players are kind of not bandwagony, but they rode the high train. Now that he's kind of not middle of the pack, but he is kind of there, and they're I wish he was better. So I don't know. I'm just gonna put him right there. He is strong. He's not weak. I'm tired of down players, so sorry. I don't care what you say. Okay, Smoke is interesting because I played Smoke a little bit. Smoke. So I think Smoke is bottom of high tier, and I'm not saying this to peas and Smoke. Yes, the invisibility shit is top tier. You're not blocking that, but I also feel people don't know how to play against Smoke, and this is kind of a Garrus thing where if you, and it's not you can lab invisibility. You can't lab that. But I think Smoke gets better and better. Well, I'll say this. Hold on. Sorry. I think Smoke was at his best when the game first dropped because no one knew what to do about his cancels or his invisibility or like his pressure or whatnot. As the game goes on, I think there's more like counterplay. Like you can just, I think Chameleon was like a really good cameo to like shut him down because at full screen he can't really do much. Like he can like phase and do his teleport obviously or like his like back 4-3 vicious vapors or whatever. He can do that. He can still do that even in the air. But I don't know. Smoke is a weird one for me. He's kind of like the Sub Zero guy, where it's like I don't really know how to feel about him as a character in terms of like Smoke has great damage. He has his 4-4, very strong strings, like +9 or whatever, breaks armor sometimes. He has the cancels. I feel like though the way I beat Smoke, if I can, is if he's doing like his back two a lot, I just throw out a standing jab. And most times, I would say like 70% of the time, I will anti-air him if I just throw out a stand jab in neutral and to anti-air him for doing back two. Now, obviously, if he does his 4-3-2, the little low overhead string, that can be tricky because you have to up block it to punish it, or you can armor, or he's safe with the 4-3 itself. So it's tricky to like beat Smoke, but he's still beatable. It's just more so. I think it takes practice and experience more so than just like labbing, if that makes sense. Like obviously you need to know stuff, but Smoke has some great cameo synergy. He can use a lot of cameos as well. He can use Sector, Chameleon, Tremor, Janet, Scorpion, Sub Zero. He can use a lot of cameos, so he's never like out of it. So I gotta put him at least. Oh yeah, Reptile has some decent cameo synergy too. Mostly Scorpion, Janet, Movado. I'll put him like over here, I guess. I would say he's better than Garrus, maybe. For right now. For right now. Oh my god, Rain, all the ninjas. Rain, well, he's not a ninja anymore. Please, NRS. Rain is interesting. I feel like Rain is like he's like so dependent on his new string, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't care that Sonic Fox won ECT with Rain. I still thought he was low tier. I still don't care. I think it was more so Cyrax than it was Rain, because you can't tell me if he would have just played Raiden Cyrax or Baraka Cyrax at that first tournament that he would have won anyway. I don't think it was just Rain per se. I think it was more so Cyrax the cameo, but that's just me personally. Anyway, Rain is so one button dependent that he can't really play full screen depending on your character. He can't really play up close because he has like a 4-2 mid. It's okay, but it's not the best check mid. I mean, I guess it is. I don't know. But he mostly plays that mid-range game. The premier zoner can't zone. That's so crazy. I hate that. Rain's fine. I think he's just fine. Got like down 3. Good, decent pokes with down 1, down 3. His strings kind of suck. His damage is pretty good. Gets like 34%. But I guess he's like a better Lee May because he can actually he can't use cameos as well. I mean, he can use Sub Zero, Scorpion, Janet, that's the best one, and Cyrax, I guess. But like, I don't know, he's kind of like stuck in the mud. Like he has stuff, he can compete. Basically, he can compete now. Like that's a good way to say it. I always thought he was kind of like just too weak because you just throw on Sub-Zero armor and just negate him from zoning, and now he has to play up close, and if he plays up close, he's going to lose. But now he has back 3-4, so, the cancels are pretty good, so I wouldn't say he's like a worse version of Ermac, but he's just like right here. I'm going to just put him right there. I think that's fine. Johnny Cage top tier, yeah. 9 frame mid. I think he has a 6 frame down 1. I think it's a 7 frame down 1. I'm just kidding. Pressure out the wazoo, plus frames out the wazoo, cameo synergy out the he can dude. Tell me a Johnny Cage player you've seen that hasn't used every single cameo that there is. Like, tell me one Johnny Cage player you haven't seen every single cameo. Enough said. He has like 950 health. It doesn't matter, dude. This character is like, it's hard to play your playstyle when he's always using his. If that makes sense. So Can't put him at full screen. He can use any cameo he wants to get in. Shadow kick, armor, all that stuff. Hype combos are really good. You can't really punish him on his strings because he has mix-ups with 214, 212. You have to up block it, but if you don't, then you can do the low and launch you. Even if your regular block gets -7, there is an armor gap there, but why are you wasting armor against Johnny Cage, you know? So, I don't know. Throw game, he gets throw mix-ups, or not throw mix-ups, throw combos. This character is hard to beat. And he has cameos that he can use whenever he wants. Janet, Shinko, freaking Darius, he can use whatever he wants. Like, there's no shortage of it. If I just asked for one change, it would be make 2144 or 214. Just make that string unsafe. Just make it like -11. Don't make it -8 on 214, and then make the launcher 212 -7, and you have to uplock it or armor it. But he can just fake it out. Like, come on, man. Because like the 2-1 is -1, so there's no guessing. Like, I mean, it is a guessing game, but like there's no quote unquote counterplay. I just need more counterplay against Johnny Cage because it feels like there isn't a whole lot when he has those types of tools. So, yeah, I scared. Kenshi, okay, this is gonna be controversial. I still think he's top tier. I know he's gotten nerfed a few times with the Sento timer and I guess some of his buttons or something like that, but I still think he's top tier. It's one of the best win conditions in the game. I'm gonna put him like below that. I still think Johnny Cage is better than Scorpion. If you allow Kenshi to get Sento, then it all depends on how you play defense, you know. Yes, the overhead is unreactable. It launches you. It is unsafe, but if he has Sento, he can keep it safe. I get that. Whatever. You get sandwiched. It's pretty much hard to get out of. Even if you armor him, he can bait your armor and punish you. I get it. It's not a great situation. But regular Kenshi is so not as strong as Sento Kenshi that if you even... And I get it. He shouldn't be able to allow Sento on block. It's not fair. Well, there are a billion other characters that can do the same thing. Like, if you're asking me like, oh my god, he's using Frost cameo or Sub-Zero cameo or whatever cameo to activate Sento on block, that's not fair. I mean, that's basically the same thing as like Raiden, Baraka, like those types of characters. Do something unsafe and then make it safe with a cameo. That's the whole thing of the game. So I don't know why Kenshi has to get the same sort of disdain like every other character. Like literally, remember Chameleon meta where it was like, oh my god, Johnny Cage did 214 or 43412 into shadow kick and he did fan lift to get out of it. That's not fair. Well, this is the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. He's top tier. I don't want to hear anything else about it. I wouldn't say nerf Kenshi, but like just give him more counterplay. Maybe, I don't know, maybe make Sento have a longer cooldown when he gets hit or something, I guess. I don't really know. Or if you want to make it, maybe make him summon the bar to summon Sento or whatever. I don't really care. I still think he's top tier. I need some water. Where's my drink? It's right there. I'm gonna grab it real quick. That's better. Sorry. Baraka. You're like at the... I was going to be like, I mean... you can go with Raiden. You're basically the same character. Baraka, great high string, 2-1, 9 frame startup, 0 on block, hard to poke. Again, Baraka's thing is like basically how patient are you? You know, even if you are patient, even if you block his poke in the special, you have to deal with Kano because he's gonna use Kano, Striker, Jax, whatever, Sector, Farah. He's gonna use those types of cameos to like basically make him safe, and he has to do that because otherwise he doesn't do much else. Back 3 is really good. I honestly don't even see Baraka players even do back 3-2 or back 3-1. They just do back 3 into the down 4-2 or just back 3 by itself. It's insane because they just know they're just waiting their time to get Kano back. And then they'll start doing more down 1 pressure or down 4 into spinning blades or whatever. And he's been this character. He like characters like Raiden, Baraka, Kung Lao, Omni Man. These characters are all playing day one MK, and it's kind of getting old, but it's still effective. It just depends on how patient you are. So he's a beatable character. He's still strong. Still has high damage. Still has good neutral in a way. Decent projectile. So don't sleep on this character. Very strong. My main Havoc. Sorry, I got a burp. I guess not. Maybe not. Havoc. I mean, I'm not gonna argue. He is top tier, I guess, and I think he's overbuffed. I think they just need to make. They need to get rid of. Look, they need to just get rid of the whole 3-bar breaker. Not 3-bar. The meter burn snap. That was never something I even wanted at all. I never wanted that. I would have been fine with just the low snatch, and that's it. I didn't think I needed anything else as a Havoc main. Even like the little jump, stretchy leg overhead thing, I thought that was like unnecessary. It's kind of ass anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But like, here's the thing though. So way back when, before he was buffed, people were saying, "Oh, he's the worst character in the game." But why did they think that? I think it's mostly because they had, well, he's a one-trick pony. He has all these plus frames, but he can't enforce them. That is slightly true. He has a godlike down 4. It is godlike. It is minus 12 on block and like plus 9 on hit. So it's basically as. And it pushes him so far back, it's like unusable. His plus frames are good. I mean, yeah, sure. He has barely any armor gaps. Not necessarily true, but he doesn't really have a lot of ways to. The armor gaps are usually in his safe strings, like the back 2-2 grab, the back 2-2 4, whatever. He has armor gaps or whatever. There's still an armor gap in 2-2, which is stupid, or 2-1, I think. Whichever one of those strings. I don't know my own character. That's crazy. Sorry. Anyway, but like, I don't understand why people were saying he was so low tier. Now he's so broke. He is. The same things you use to put him low tier are the same things you can do to beat him, even though he's up here. So why has anything changed? Why does it feel like, oh my god, he got buffed, he's unstoppable, I can't beat a Havoc player? Dude, I've seen more Havoc players lose recently with these buffs, in my opinion. I mean, at the start, yeah, it was really strong. It was hardly any counterplay, but now there is. So he's kind of mellowed out. I still think he's top tier, but he's not as like broke as some people say. I think people just overreact. Yes, the EX snap is broken. They need to get rid of that. Or even if they keep it, get rid of the damage scaling that doesn't exist with it, and get rid of the armor breaking properties. Keep the inputs reversed. That's fine. I don't really care about that. But don't make it break armor. There are already ways for having to get around that pre-patch. I don't want it for free. I want to actually earn the right to break armor. Even if I do 20% from my combo. Even if I do that, that's good enough for me. So, I don't know. But I thought the buffs were oversaturated. I think his Nether Snatcher does down back too. It's a decent armor move. I don't mind it. I do think, though, it does need to cost a bar to launch, because the fact that it doesn't cost any bar gives him 46% meterless before he even gets to the 2-bar roll for the 3-bar setup. You know what I'm saying? So he can technically touch a Death View, technically, but I think the Nether Snatcher, the low attack, low special move, needs to have EX to launch it, and the regular one just be like a knockdown, which is like the same knockdown as it is on EX. The EX one can have armor, but it doesn't launch. Just do it like that way. If it gets hit. So Havoc's so strong. Even if he got nerfed, I still think he's like top tier. And honestly, I didn't even think he was the worst character in the game. I really didn't think that, even before he got buffed. Because in certain matchups, yes, he could break characters' attempts to his tether. And the ones that he couldn't do that against, well, he was a little bit low tier, because I don't know, I don't want to get into it. I'm not trying to make it like a character breakdown, I'm just trying to make it like a tier list. So that's where I'm gonna put him at. Top 3 for right now. Astra, Gatekeeper. Finally, we have another Gatekeeper. Goddamn. Holy shit. Dude, Astra is so Basically, if you can react to her 4-3 overhead, you're pretty good. She's like down here. But if you can't, well, then you're going to be eating that all day. Because I've seen more Asha players use her overhead more than the low. It's so fucking funny. Her 2-2 is fucking broke, man. It's gapless. It jails into most cameo attacks. It's safe. It launches with Movado. Oh my god. It's like, whatever. She's gotten better as the game's gone on. I think we've all known she was strong tier, but like not many players play her. Um, so good mid, decent pokes, high damage, crazy damage, long range. Armor, teleport is really good. Not much else to say about her. She's just really strong. Heaven and Hell mode is, whatever. But I need to check my phone because fantasy lineups. Holy shit. One second. Sorry. I should have done this earlier, but I almost realized it's 1 p.m. Quick lineup. Who's playing? Alright, that's fine. Sorry. Actually, damn it. Okay, it's fine. Sindel. I'm gonna put her up there with Johnny Cage. So I don't really actually play Sindel that much. I know what she can do. I know her frames and whatnot, but I don't really know how to play her per se. But she is strong. She has one of the best cameo teams with like Kung Lao and Tremor and all that type of stuff. Very strong character. Hard to really beat because of the fact that forward one, it's -7, and like if she does the extension forward 1-3, it pushes you back. It's really hard to punish it. Even if you false block it, you have to dash in and punish it. Her back 2 float stuff is pretty chilling, because it has enough block stun to where even if you armor the back 2 part, she can cancel it fast enough to block, I think, on some moves. Not all of them, but on some. But, it's like a read. Like, her projectile is pretty good. Her pokes are pretty decent too, like her down 3. Mostly her down 3. But like she only uses like 3 moves. It's back 2, forward 4, and like down 3. Like she doesn't need anything else. And forward 1, I forgot. So her damage is pretty solid. She hits about like mid-30s most of the time, so but she just puts you in a vortex, so hard to blockables. She has an anti-breaker thing with like the EX Queen's command, but like no one ever uses it. I don't know why. It's really good because you get a launch. And you can set it up too. You can set it up with like Sub-Zero, Cyrax with the net. You can set it with a lot of cameos, and she has a lot of cameo synergy too. Like she can use a lot of cameos and all that stuff. So I don't understand why they're not using that move. It's pretty broken to like stop someone from breaking, but whatever. I need to know more about Sindel, but I just know she stopped here. So here's the thing about Xiao. I think he's high tier. Not necessarily a gatekeeper, but he is high tier. And I know people are going to say, oh man, that Noax 4-2 is so good. And every time I block it, they just down one immediately. And it's like, I can never take my turn back. He's like, yeah, I think Xiao's pretty solid. He can get zoned out, but again, you can't zone anyone out in this game. There's no projectiles that really shut down people. He's got high damage, hitting you for about 40% every touch. He's got great cameo synergy. He's got command grab stuff, armored stuff. He has one of the faster armor launchers. Not armor launchers, but armored moves. Pretty easy to bait, though, on wake up, so he has to be a lot more defensive. Terrible mids, but great high standing jab, so you have to really contest that range. Or it's hard to contest that range because no one else has that. He can punish some things that other characters can't. Good cameo synergy with like Motaro, Movado, Tremor. I use him with Shujinko. He can use any cameo he wants. So the reason why I didn't put him at gatekeeper is because he has so many flaws. Like his pokes suck. He can only use sweep and down 3, I guess. Even though his stand 2 is godlike, his mid sucks. So in terms of checking people, he has to like backdash or does a sweep or whatever. So he can't really enforce that so-called pressure to like, get your opponent to like frizzle up or whatever. So I do think he has some flaws. And against these, and it's weird because I think Shao does pretty well against the other two gatekeepers. Not Liu Kang. He sucks against Liu Kang, in my opinion. But against the other two, he does well. But like I said, if you can't beat the gatekeepers, then you can't be top tier or a gatekeeper. So I think he's high tier, my opinion. Ooh, Shang Tsung. Okay. Um, man, I keep thinking this character is like bad, but he's gotten like some slow, not slow buffs, but like some shadow buffs. Not shadow buffs, but like buffs that you don't really see too often. Um, still though, still Shang Tsung. So young form Shang Tsung sucks as fireballs suck, except for the EX one. 4-3 is good, the overhead, and then the beta spikes is really good on EX, and that's about it. That's all you need to know about young Shang. Old Shang, he's got the long string, he's got the double O, he's got the cameo steals now, so he can steal the opponent's cameos attacks. And I would say about like five of them are really good. The other ones kind of suck. So they're not all helpful. They honestly they all just extend combos or make something safe. But even when you spend a bar to extend combos with the cameo steals, they do less damage than is well not less damage, but they do just about the same damage as if you just use a regular cameo launch. Like if you just use Tremor up punch. I don't know. I think Shang Tsung's like it's weird putting him in high tier, but I think he's like top of mid tier. Like his ground fireball is punishable on whiff and on block from like certain ranges. His armor kind of sucks. He has armor launchers of Farah, which is pretty decent, I guess. Well, not armor launchers, but like he can make it somewhat safe, kind of. Excuse me. But the most thing about Shang is that his strings suck and his neutrals suck because his fireballs suck and his strings suck. So he's kind of mostly relying on gimmicks and morphing into the opponent to like actually play their game. So it all depends on what the other character is playing. If the Shang player is morphing, if they're not morphing, then they're not really playing Shang. Like if you don't morph with Shang, he's pretty much the worst character, I feel like. But if you do morph, he's slightly not the worst. So there. Yeah. So we got Natara and Natara. So she has like 900 health. It doesn't really matter. She could get health back with the blood sacrifice. 50% every time she touches you. Her armor sucks, but who needs armor when you have a safe dive kick and it launches on normal hit? Evasiveness of her flight shit. Not many characters can deal with it. If you can't deal with her flight shit, then she's pretty much top tier. I would say she's a gatekeeper low key, but are there enough characters that can beat her in the air or at least shut her down? Because like you can't shut her down forever. Like Reptile can't do it. Smoke can't really do it. Rain can, but like for how long? Garrus, no, because like Sandstorm doesn't hit her. Astra maybe could. Katana, sure. Liu Kang, yeah. Kenshi, yeah. Well, it kind of depends. It just depends on how it's crazy how Natara is more chaotically high octane than Melina is, which is so ironic. Sweep is pretty decent, can cancel into cameo attacks. Farah is the best cameo for her. Enough said, gives her the health, gives her the damage. Like, I want to put her in top tier, I guess. Maybe I should. I guess I should. I'll do it like that. Because I only think there's only like a few top tiers. Maybe Kenshi could be a gatekeeper, but I don't know. I think there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are like the top 6. I think that's fair for the most part. Oh, I forgot about one more other character. It's fine. I can have multiple top tiers. It's fine. I might put Kenshi at gatekeeper though. Maybe we'll see. Reiko is a gatekeeper for sure though. Like if you can't if you don't have the if you don't have the mental fortitude to get past shurikens, then you're not gonna beat this character. No tick throws, but it doesn't matter if you get hit by a poke, then it's time to guess. Is it gonna be strike or grab? And he's got both, and they do pretty decent damage. His combos kind of suck though. He's got like no sauce, but he's got high damage. He only uses like literally two. He uses literally only 2 cameos. It's really only one. It's Darius and Tremor, and You can't tell me he can use any other cameo because I would love to see what other cameo he could use because he cannot. Because his gameplay is so narrow and so straightforward. It's so bad. Give my boy Reiko some other new stuff, but oh well. I would say he's low key better than these characters, but I mean, he's got the check mid with forward one, kind of stubby, but it's still good. Back three's godlike button, down four godlike button, down one godlike 1, 2, 3, -2. He's gonna press every time. Shurikens break armor, ultimate projectile, like damn, you know, fatal blow, guessing game, like damn, you know. So, gives him extra 100 health with tremor too, so even harder to hit him. I'd say Reiko's like the best gatekeeper because if you can't beat Reiko, then you're not gonna beat these other characters. Okay, let's move this on really quick. Omni Man. Omni Man's weird, man. Like, I was so hyped for him when he first came out. Now he's kind of just like, you know, he's just there. I think he's like right around here, low key. Like, I feel like Omni Man is just. He has the 4-3, which is the low mid. He has to commit to the Viltrumite stance with it, obviously. The 4-2 buff doesn't seem like it's enough though. I don't think Omni Man needs like. I think he just needs like a little bit of a rework because I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do. Like I know he can like counter zone, he can like teleport really quickly, does high damage, has some decent cameo synergy with like Movado, Shinko, Scorpion. He can kind of use a lot of cameos, Jax too, but like, what is he supposed to do? Like, I know he's supposed to be like up in your face, pressing buttons, but like, he only has 1+ frame. His pokes kind of suck. His evasiveness isn't like that crazy. Like, I think maybe he should be able to zip around kind of like Natara does, but I mean, he can't even do that as much. So, like, he's not a bad character. He has armor launcher with Movado. Like, it's so weird. Like, he has tools. He's not bad, but I think people just want more of him, and I want more of him too. But in terms of like how he plays against these other characters, how he stacks up, I think his range is just like the biggest issue, right? Like back one, kind of like a check mid, but not like a advancing mid. I know he has forward and a little knee attack. I don't think he's a bad character though. He's still high tier. That's why I put him in high tier though. So I feel like this tier list looks like everyone else's tier list, but yeah, it's just me. Quan Chi, I'm gonna put him in mid tier. Pretty easy decision, not gonna lie. Just walk forward. You take away his biggest game plan. Armor Portal is pretty cheap, but at the same time, if you just block, and I know it's like, oh my god, just block. Well, easier said than done. Well, yeah. I mean, he has back 3 and he has back 2. The low and overhead. I'm just taking the throw every time, man. He's gonna have to throw me to get any sort of damage out of me because I'm gonna fuzzy guard everything. And the thing with Quan, he has crazy cameos. He can use a lot of cameos as well, so he's not cameo starved. It's just that he's still fragile. His pokes suck. His standing jab sucks. His buttons suck. There's an armor gap on all of them, pretty much, except for 4-2-1. But that string sucks. Not even a string, really. He can only counter poke with sweep, and that has like terrible range. His damage is okay, pretty average, I guess. You have to spend like a lot of bar to do it, though. His zoning can be good, but it just depends on how many resources he has and what resources you have to counter it. So, I mean, I don't know. He has a lot of counterplay, and I feel like that's kind of like the thing with like the mid tiers. Well, I mean, Omni Man, I wouldn't say he has counterplay. I mean, I know he has Viltrumite Stance EX, but like, maybe I don't see a lot of Omni Man players using it. It does kind of suck though because it loses to lows. I don't know. I'm not saying it should be like a parry everything move, but like, should be something. I do need to hurry up though because I gotta get to the. Oh, I gotta mail out this thing. Okay. Peacemaker, I'm gonna say he's like high tier as well. Very strong. I see some Peacemaker sector stuff, which is really interesting. I kind of like that team. I might have to give it a shot. I'm gonna put him below. Put him right here, actually. Peacemaker's really strong. Good projectile. His armor sucks. Anyone can punish it now, pretty much, because it whiffs. It's like minus 100 on whiff, minus 100 on block. The anti-gravity stuff is still pretty strong, though. 5% chip damage on block. You can use cameos to make it safe, kind of. Long mid with the forward 4. Good mid, so if the back 2, the check you, the anti-air dart, Sonic, all that stuff is really good. Low eagly is pretty good when it's like full screen, gets them a combo launch. The regular eagly that hits a mid is unsafe still, but only certain caters can punish it. I think it's like minus 15, so not all caters can punish it. Excuse me, there it is. But he's still pretty strong. I think he's just underpowered rather than overpowered. I did not like the force field change, honestly, but it is what it is. Ermac, I say he's a gatekeeper, low key. I'm actually gonna put him in top tier one day, maybe, but today's not that day. Ermac is like, I rather fight Smoke than Ermac. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't want to get hit by 60% with Janet. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to deal with his freaking 1 2 2 1 4 4. I don't want to deal with that with Ermac, bro. I don't, and his damage is nuts, dude. Like, dude, you're gonna get hit. You're either gonna die by 20% throws or a 60% combo by trying to poke back or take a turn back. Then he hits you with the back 2-4, and then he hits you with the Janet. It's showtime, and then it's like 60%. So, and most times Ermacs don't drop their combos. I feel like I've never seen an Ermac drop their combos. So, and then he has the Death's Embrace, basically untouchable for like that thing lasts way longer than it should, in my opinion. Like, why is no one talking about Ermac's Death's Embrace lasting for like 30 seconds? Like, what the hell? That needs to be checked out, man. But yeah, very strong character Ermac is. He's definitely a gatekeeper. He could honestly be top tier. I wouldn't disargue with that. Dude is kind of sick. He doesn't play the way I want him to play personally, but he is still strong. Very few weaknesses too. I feel like it's more so when do you take your turn, and if you take your turn, it's gonna cost you your health bar. I'm gonna put Ermac. He can get zone now, but I mean he has a teleport. I mean, it is a pretty slow teleport. So I mean, he has to make his way in, but he's got the range to kind of make up for that. So it's not woe is me. It's not the end all be all. So I'm gonna put him right in the middle. I'm gonna put him in the middle. Homelander. I guess all the tier whores on Homelander kind of went away. I'm just kidding. I don't really know where to put Homelander. I never really played him, honestly. I know he's strong. He has a lot of he has a lot of counterplay now, so it's not as hard to fight against him. But I guess it's more so about making him hurt for going for those mix-ups. That grab is still pretty unreactable, and he is using the best cameo, so Farrah's pretty strong. I don't know. I feel like he could be a gatekeeper, but he's really stopping other characters from being top tier. I think he still is top tier. Because honestly, I only have one more top tier, and it's probably Noob. I mean, spoiler, oh no. I'm going to still put him in top tier. I don't think the Ford 4 change was enough to kill him. It was pretty cheap, though. Maybe I should put him at Gatekeeper. I don't know. Homelander's kind of a hard one for me. Good mid. Still good mids, good mix-ups and whatnot. Doesn't hit a whole lot of damage, but he does have damage. Does have Vortex stuff, kind of. I'm gonna put him at. See, high tier's late. I feel like high tier's too low, but maybe it isn't. I think Gatekeeper's fine, like low Gatekeeper or high Gatekeeper. I think he's more on the higher end though. Yeah, let's move on the higher end because I feel like he's still top tier. Like you still have to actually play against the Homelander player. So okay, Takeda. I think he's pretty high tier. Well, hold on. Let me hold my brakes. Hold on. Before I say that, so I've seen some Takeda stuff because before going into this, I had no idea what Takeda was like at all. Like I just kind of didn't really care about him. He is pretty good. I think People were saying, "Oh man, he has no mids. How is he supposed to poke back and all that stuff?" I mean, yeah, he doesn't have any mids. He has good set play though. Like when he puts you on Oki, it's a pretty crazy guessing game, especially with Sector as a cameo. Like do like a low kunai, and then you have to guess between the overhead jump and attack or the low kunai blast to launch you. I don't know. That's pretty cheap. Or we could do like a jump in too, you know. So he's like the ultimate setup character. But will his setups work most of the time? I don't know. I mean, I've seen them. You can't really delay wake up to avoid them like Cyrax can, you know, with the bombs. It's a little bit different. I think Takeda's like a lesser version of Cyrax. He does hit pretty hard. He does have some high damage. But I don't know. I don't really know where he goes besides like right here. I feel like he's like right there. Oops. Like between Garrus and like Kung Lao. That's just my opinion though. I need to do more research, but I'm trying to hurry this up. I can't talk about the characters so long. Cyrax, Gatekeeper. Not hard to say. Um, if you don't know the bomb setups, then you're not gonna win. So I'm not gonna say much about Cyrax. Armor breaking stuff to 4-2, saw blade. I think Cyrax needs to be more meter dependent on their combos, but that's just me because she doesn't spend any bar for her combos except to when it's to drain your bar. So that's kind of cheap in my opinion. Like she doesn't use any bombs for anything. Tracking bomb. I've seen no Cyrax use that ever because why would you need to use that? We can just use regular bomb. People don't know the setup, so why would I use you know what I'm saying? So like most people don't know about Cyrax's setups to get out of them, whatever. And some of them are pretty cheap. I'm not gonna lie, but there are ways to play around it. It just depends on what you can do. And she wins the trade every time you throw a projectile, so don't throw projectiles at her. Sector. Ooh, definitely high tier. The best high tier, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, I wish Sector was a little bit more zoner friendly, but she kind of still is. You know, she has to teleport pretty slow though. It's not a good teleport. Not many teleports in this game are, but her projectile is pretty good. She only uses like a few cameos. I kind of stopped talking about cameos, but I'm trying to hurry up here. She doesn't really use a lot of cameos besides Motaro. I've used her for Striker a few times, but like and Chameleon, but like I see no Sector players anymore. I think they just rode the high train now. She's kind of like middle of the pack. So I don't know. I think she's kind of just like average, but she's still strong. She has good buttons, good whiff punishing. The back 3-4 pretty good. I don't think she has many gaps in her strings either, so kind of hard to like punish her straight up. You kind of have to like bait her into doing something unsafe. But if she plays pretty fundamentally well and doesn't get too careless of her projectiles, and she's pretty strong and pretty much hard to hit. Okay, really quick, just to get through these. So between like the best character in the game, it's between these three: Johnny Cage, Sindel, and Noob Saibot. I downplay Noob Saibot a lot, and maybe it's my own undoing. And I've seen a lot of gameplay. I've seen the setups. They buffed his 4-3. I get it. He gets a combo now. It's so cheap. The portal setups are so broke. I get it. He's hard to punish. He's the little dive kick. It's so annoying. But like, I don't know. I'm gonna put him at top tier anyway. But like, I don't really fear Noob Saibot that much. Now he is hard to hit. I will say that it is hard to like straight up hit him because he's just everywhere on screen. He's so safe in a way. I say safe, quote unquote, but like, I need to fight a good Noob Saibot to really get like a good idea of how he plays. But like every other noob I've played has been kind of like elementary or like pedestrian. So I haven't got the full experience, but I know he's top tier. I've seen it. I know what he is. Very strong. Lastly, Ghostface. I'm gonna say he's like high tier, probably where like I'd say where like Takeda is. I know the assassin thing was broke. The unblockable thing, I get it. Ghostface players are mad and upset. He sucks now. They killed this character. They didn't tell us about it. Like, yeah. Shut up. Like, calm down, you guys. Like, they might implement it back. They may not. Who knows? He's still a good character. Like, don't get me wrong. Okay. He's got good damage. He's got some good cameo synergy with like Scorpion, Janet. I've seen Charmer be used. I've seen Shijinko. He's got long ass combos. His teleports do kind of suck. His buttons are really good though. He's got the command grabs and whatnot. So he's not lacking anything. So I don't want to hear it about these Ghostface down players being, oh, this character sucks now. No one ever plays him. Y'all just lost faith. But that's my tier list. There it is. Hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.